Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Schultz. Welcome to the How to Adjust Yourself workshop. Otherwise, I call this the Maitreya method of self-correction. I'm fond of the word Maitreya, which has many references. Its primary meaning in Sanskrit is friendship and loving kindness. And that is exactly the kind of sentiment that comes to mind when I think of people taking good care of themselves. This will be a beginner's simplified version of the course I've taught my practice members and the general public for over 15 years. This Maitreya method will not be instructions on how to give yourself a chiropractic adjustment. I still can't adjust myself after 22 years of practice. Nor is it meant to be a one-time fix-all thing when you're feeling bad. Instead, this is a collection of innate-centered techniques used in a daily regimen to make all kinds of adjustments to your spine and all the joints of the body, as it promotes good health and general well-being.
This course is the first installment in a series, my Triad of Health workshops, where we look at the three causes of all disease: structural, chemical, and mental interferences. Everyone knows that what we think about affects our health. Emotional stress causes cancer. Negative thoughts create their own reality. Chemical influences, toxicity and deficiencies, are a potent contributor to disease. And then there's the structural interferences to health, like extra weight, poor posture, or the vertebral subluxation, where spinal bones become misaligned and choke off nerve energy to the living cells of the body.
All three affect our health detrimentally, and all three are interconnected. Our thought processes affect our internal chemistry. Chemicals like drugs and food obviously affect our mind. If someone is depressed, their structure gives it away. They slump over and droop. All three aspects are intertwined.
One of the best living demonstrations of this interconnectedness is the story of Masha and Dasha, conjoined twins whisked off at birth for scientific observation during the Soviet era. The twins were quite unique in that they had separate spines and nervous systems, but they shared the same circulatory system and many of the same organs. Since the same blood flowed through each of them, it was fascinating to scientists that Dasha contracted the measles, but Masha did not. Notice how Masha's posture on the right is much better. Dasha's neck on the left is far more tilted. This was strong evidence that the spine's structural alignment can cause or prevent disease.
In this video, I'll show you how the Maitreya method will allow you to make healthy self-corrections to your frame. In my chiropractic practice, I've always emphasized personal responsibility in healthcare, and I feel in integrity with myself for sharing this knowledge, essentially trying to work myself out of a job. Because it's better to teach a man to fish than give a man a fish. Chiropractic promotes independence. Some people get in tune with themselves through athletics, yoga, or meditation. But most people in our industrialized culture have forgotten how to listen to and honor their body's needs. People are busy with thinking, worrying, and rushing, doing things, far too busy to invest a little time in cultivating their own health. What I'm proposing first and foremost is making a change to your daily routine to allow some time for the intelligent maintenance of the body. Everyone has the time. For healthy people, their investment in themselves is simply an integral part of their day, just as they would make time for a shower or eating breakfast. It's smart. In Stephen Covey's famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it's habit number 7, sharpening the saw, preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, you. I like the story that he tells. Someone walks up to a guy, sweating profusely, exhausted, sawing away at a log, and he says, "Hey, doesn't look like that's going very well." You need to sharpen your saw. The guy responds, I don't have time. I got all this wood to cut. It's not going very well. Well, if you just take some time to sharpen your saw, you get through it quicker and easier. There's no time, the Fool says.
Just as athletes prepare their body for the stresses of training, so should those of us who go to work every day or work at home, because cumulatively, these kinds of activities can be equally as destructive. We're not made to sit for 6 hours a day at a desk. So many repetitive tasks, bending, typing, are forces that we need to prepare our bodies for.
Before we get started, I want us to ask one important question. If you could prevent and correct misalignments, prevent injuries, improve balance, stimulate metabolism, achieve ideal weight, improve immunity and health, and just generally feel better, how much time would you invest each day to accomplish those goals? I can tell you my answer, 15 minutes. If I can achieve all of those things that time efficiently, I'd dive right in.
I'll provide you with tools, but I'd also like to encourage you to individualize your regimen and make it yours. No one knows your body better than you, what feels right and good, what is helping, healing. I'm hoping you will utilize these holistic ideas, experiment, and be consistent with them for the best results. One of the themes you'll notice throughout is symmetry, balance, and posture. Their benefits are long-lasting and profound. We use the golden rule of exercise. Don't do it if it hurts, grinds, or pops. Move more slowly and controlled, or stop if you must. One of the most important themes is that of innate intelligence.
Innate intelligence is quite different from educated intelligence. No one teaches us how to cough, sneeze, or how to make a fever. Our bodies innately know this. Innate means inborn, intrinsic. We come with that program already installed.
The first innate mechanism we'll utilize in this routine is the yawning stretch. Your cat, dog, most mammals, lions, tigers, and bears do this. People do this. It feels good, doesn't it? But why does it feel good? What's the purpose? I believe the answer is that the yawning stretch is a counterbalance to the stresses of everyday living.
Grabbing, typing, eating, sitting, driving, they all require flexion movements. Flexion always seems to involve manipulating objects or bringing them toward the center of the body. Notice that flexion movements are often fear-based postures. The yawning stretch is a courageous, vulnerable act. The physical importance of this is that going out into the world and doing things means a lot of flexion motions and not much extension. And this creates an imbalance in the joints, both mechanically and neurologically. The yawning stretch is an antidote. It restores an equilibrium.
I prescribe an exercise that can often achieve results nothing short of miraculous. For people with certain finger problems, painful or arthritic hands, I have them place a rubber band around their fingers and practice extension movements for just a few minutes, several times a day. Even this kind of motion, without rubber bands, is helpful. They tell me they get new hands.
This is why animals, humans included, begin and end their day with this yawning stretch. Let's embrace it in our regimen. We begin with this.
Rubbing. What's the first thing we do when we bang our head? We rub it, don't we? Why? For the same reason that massage is healthy. Rubbing brings blood, oxygen and galvanic electrical potential to the area, another way of saying healing energy. Hippocrates, generally accepted as the father of medicine and author of the Hippocratic Oath, wrote this in his memoirs. The physician must be experienced in many things, but assuredly also in rubbing, for the things that have the same name have not always the same effects. You can do the laying on of hands yourself, in fact. As I noted earlier, you know best where it hurts, and that's where the body is saying it wants touch.
So after the yawning stretch, let's take a few moments to listen and rub where the body is asking for touch. Where?
Bouncing and shaking. Kids, or silly adults who haven't grown up yet, do it all the time, just for fun. It feels good. As a discipline, it's been around for ages. The 2,000-year-old Chinese health regimen of Qigong includes an aerobic component in which you bounce and shake your body. The Aboriginals and Native Americans in many tribal cultures have bouncing and shaking within the very fabric of their culture in their ceremonies and dance.
I came to get down, so get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down, jump, 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 jump. I'll serve your ass like John McEnroe.
It's intriguing, the things that are primal and innate, because they can be so potent in healing. It's always interested me what happens after someone slams a finger, stubs a toe, or hits their thumb with a hammer. We somehow know how to shake it out in just the right way to relieve the pressure, restoring the injured joint. You don't have to buy a book or read the latest study or watch the latest sales pitch infomercial. All of the answers come from within.
Bouncing and shaking is a very safe and simple way to prepare the body for a day's work, and it's the opposite of what a prolonged hot shower does. So many times people have come into my office complaining of an injury after a morning hot shower. That warms the muscles up before the joints are ready for action, and that's how joint damage builds up. Instead, we start our day by preparing the body for activity in the correct way, warming from the inside out. Throughout this program, you'll notice that we remain mindful of balance. Studies have shown that by only practicing balance a few minutes a day, the elderly can avoid hip fractures. When we walk on irregular surfaces like trails and beaches, we strengthen not just the prime movers like the quadriceps, but also all of the smaller supportive muscles that stabilize and even correct joint stresses and protect them from injury. For the same benefits, we practice balancing in our daily routine. This is a slightly more athletic version that can become a creative dance for me. Most high-level athletes do this innately. The human body is also engineered in such a way to be very difficult to misalign our joints by striking them. In fact, the converse proves to be true, that the vast majority of misalignments that do occur in such a way that striking them aligns. If you've ever seen a dislocated shoulder, the shoulder is built to always dislocate in the same way, down into the front. It is not coincidental that the natural way we might percuss the shoulder with our opposite hand is toward joint stability. The same is true for lateral epicondylitis, the scientific term for tennis elbow. It turns out that percussive self-massage is, by design, a magnificent self-correcting tool. Again, the ancient practice of Qigong wisely uses another innate mechanism. They believe that this circulates qi, the life force energy. I am particularly fond of stimulating the thymus gland, which is just beneath the sternum, just like gorillas do. This vital gland increases metabolism and personal energy, and it's better than drugs. Breathing may seem to fit more of a chemistry-altering tool, and it does. But oxygenating the body relaxes muscles and naturally increases flexibility. During our regimen, and in the name of time efficiency, why not incorporate a meditative breathing practice? With stress, most people breathe shallowly throughout the day, depriving all body systems. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth, forcefully. You can prevent and heal from cancers this way. Cancers don't like oxygen. Proprioception is position sense. Even with our eyes closed, we know where our body parts are in 3D. A good part of the nervous system communicates this information to the brain. The exercises used in the Maitreya method of self-correction, the yawning stretch, rubbing, bouncing, shaking, balancing, and percussing, all stimulate proprioceptive impulses to the brain intensively. When this happens, the brain takes a snapshot of whatever position you're in and says, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal. Then instantly, the brain recalibrates your posture from then on, based on that snapshot. There is an opportunity here, and there's an entire branch of chiropractic called CBP, chiropractic biophysics, that uses proprioception to make positive structural changes. If someone presents with a high shoulder or a tilted head to one side, the chiropractor places them in the opposite position and contacts certain points which stimulates proprioceptive impulses to the brain. You can accomplish the same by assessing yourself in front of a mirror. If you see asymmetries, try to place your body in the opposite tilt, or at least in a balanced position, while you perform the Maitreya method, and your nerve system will correct the posture. One of the most common postural weaknesses is anterior cranial displacement, when the head leans too far forward, which stresses the entire spine, especially the neck. If this continues chronically, we get a hump on our backs as we get old. When you do the Maitreya method of self-correction, be sure to balance the head directly above the shoulders and hips. Within weeks, people will begin to notice and comment on your improved posture. Now let's string all of the pieces together and do the full practice. Breathe. 5 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Three yawning stretches. Extend everything. Arch the back. Extend the arms all the way to the fingers. Find the places that want some of your healing touch. Remember to keep breathing deeply throughout the entire regimen. bounce and shake. Don't just bounce using the big muscles, like the quadriceps. Employ the hamstrings at the back of the legs and the gluteal muscles all around the hip. Bounce softly, easy on the joints. Shake the arms and legs. If you hear a click now and then, without pain, this is usually a corrective event. It's okay. Balance. Turn both hips as far as they can go. Point the toe all the way in and all the way out. Test your posture. You should feel the stabilizing muscles of the hip during this part. My creative dance. Make your own. Percussion correction. Contract, tense the muscles while you strike them with the fist, cupped or open hands, whichever feels right for you. Experiment. Remember proprioception and minding your posture. Head above the hips and the shoulders. Take a few good deep breaths to finish. Now close your eyes and check in with your body for a few moments. Listen to what it's saying.
Good. That was an abbreviated basic practice, about 7 minutes. My intermediate class goes for an hour. There are more innate techniques, and they all have their own intricacies. Remember, you can individualize creatively by making your favorite parts longer, by adding yoga postures, stretches, or other kinds of exercise that feel right. The important part is that you do it every day and incorporate these innate principles. You'll correct many of your existing misalignments and prevent new ones. You should immediately notice an uptick in metabolism, which will resonate with you throughout the day. Sleep, energy, immunity will all improve soon. My hope is that this practice helps to bring more love and joy into your life through attunement, inner peace, and a robust vitality. May your practice be enlivening and in the spirit of friendship and loving kindness.
We can be more